Hi, everybody. My name is Buddy Gott. Welcome to episode 39 of Buddy's Writing Show. And tonight on the show, I am very, very, very happy to have a couple of my friends here. First-time visitors to the show. I've got authors Kat DeSalle and Kristin
Hello.
Lee Jones.
Yay. Thanks for having us, buddy.
Oh, my pleasure. Did I pronounce your name correctly, Kat?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, great.
Yep.
Kat. And they have a book that came out fairly recently, and this is kind of a new genre for in terms of the guests that I have on the show. It is contemporary romance, but the title of the book, I love the title, my friends, Ting Tang Tony and the Tale of the Little Erection That Could.
Yes. Yes.
Isn't that's fantastic? I mean, that title really gets you. Really grabs
Yeah,
you.
well, that was the idea behind the title.
And I wish I could bring up the cover of the book here on the show, because the cover is pretty awesome.
There we go. The cover here.
Oh, how about that? Yeah.
How about that?
I didn't know you had it available in print. That's great.
There we go. Yes. Ting Tang Tony. Yes.
Oh, he's got a little thing down in his area.
He has a little thing. Yes. He's covering up his little thing.
Wow, that's really an awesome cover. I love it.
Thank you.
This is
we can thank Once Upon a Time Covers for that.
Oh, they do great work there. On a time
they
cover.
do.
Great writer and cover designer Stephanie Nelson.
Yes.
She's amazing.
Very much so.
She's the cover for my upcoming book. I Was a Teenage Amish Vampire. And I wanted to ask you, this is book one of the Has Been series. Can you tell us a little bit about the Has Been series, what that's going to cover?
Well, it's about four guys, four friends. They're all in the pornography industry. They're all age range from about 26, 27 to their 40s. So they're kind of a motley crew, bunch of guys, but each book is going to follow each one of them and kind of their story and their journey through life and kind of their journey of not being in porn anymore, hence the whole has-been thing. So each book is going to have a little bit of different flavor. It's going to touch in a little bit of different genres, but the common theme throughout is going to be comedy. So there's plenty of that in all the books.
Oh, fantastic! I kind of guessed that with the title of this one. Ting Tang Tony. Wow. How did you?
I knew this was coming.
Oh
Kristin.
man, I knew this was coming. Yeah.
Go for it, Kristin.
How did you come up with Ting Tang Tony?
Well, do you want me to start and then you can finish?
I don't know if I want to reveal all of it.
Yeah.
You don't have to. You don't have to. I don't want to give away any story.
Let's just say
no. It's embarrassing.
I think you might have told me this a long time ago. So we talked about Ting Tang Tony a while.
Yeah,
ago.
I did.
Yeah.
So you're just on part of it, but definitely part of it came from the whole concept of how porn titles, real life porn titles, rip off other TV shows and movie titles and song titles, and so that's where it came from. That's where the little erection that could came from. It's obviously from the children's book.
It's some of those titles that they rip off from real books and movies are just hilarious. And I remember one time I kind of got in trouble because of this. Back in the 80s when Crocodile Dundee was a popular movie, I figured it'd be fun for my whole family to watch, and I went to the video store and I asked for it, and they gave me Crocodile Blondie. But in the VCR, my 88-year-old grandmother was there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it turned that off really quickly and watched it by myself later on.
We're talking about that one on holidays, I'm sure.
So the series sounds great. Now, before we get into what the plot is of Ting Tang Tony, you had a short story that came out first, right? And that was Out with a Bang?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. Can you tell us what now? Does that feature Ting Tang Tony or just one of the other guys?
It's basically Tony's last shoot. So he suspects that something might be happening. People keep coming up to him on shoot and saying, "Hey, it's great working with you. It's been great 20 years." But he doesn't really have a clue that his time is up until then. Yeah, so he's kind of being squeezed out of the industry in a way where nobody really wants to deal with him, per se. to really break it down. But he gets clues on that shoot, and it kind of just features all 4 of the guys, so they're all working together
on their last film together.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole Out with a Bang has several kind of different meanings with it, and it also takes place on the 4th of July. So.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. So it's the phase out, like the start of the end per se.
Gotcha. Now I'm curious about this as a writer myself. Now, when you came up with the idea for this series, I mean, did it transpire? Had you done the short story first, or did you come up with the idea and then go back and do the do the shorts? How did that work out for you? Because I know these kinds of things can hop all over the place.
Yeah.
It definitely started with Ting Tang Tony, and then we got to talking about stuff, and we got to talking about. There was actually a while ago that before we even really got going on Ting Tang Tony about putting together an erotica anthology. And so we were kind of plotting and thinking about that and thinking about a story. And then that's where Out with a Bang came from. And then the anthology didn't work out. But we decided, hey, this might be a good way just to get our names out there. It'll be a short story. We had it in the Select program with Amazon for a while, so we were able to do free. And we thought, let's just throw it out there and see what happens. So. But it's a little different. It's definitely erotica. I mean, it's a short story, so it's not very long, and it's about 4 guys on a film porn shoot. So
on a big yacht.
On a big yacht in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico.
With fireworks, no. No, but you do get a hint, and you get to get a taste of their personalities. You get hints of their backgrounds, and that there could be more. So basically, the short story opens it up. We start with Tony. And you get into his story, how he got into porn, how, where it led him, and essentially how it became his entire world. And so now that he's leaving that, what's he going to do? That's everything for him. And there's other reasons why, he was doing what he was doing, very personal reasons. And so he's kind of scared, like, what's going to happen? And he's all, he doesn't have anyone else. So.
I'm curious to hear this because I know it was tough for me when I left the porn industry. You're kind of at a loss.
What was your porn name? What was your porn name?
Yes. Hey, did the red? I'm sure it had to do with the red Speedo, right? The red Speedo?
It was for the red Speedo as a big love. Yep.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, okay, I better move on to another question then. Now you say it's a series. I know that, and I love you. I know the title of the next book of the series, and I love it. You want to share that one?
Sure. It's book 2 is going to feature Tony's best friend, Rod, and in the porn world, his name is Rod Stick. So the second book is called Stick Me Baby One More Time. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Because conveniently, Rod has a series of films because he's the oldest of the group. And so he's been in many films. But his big feature is all of his titles have stick somewhere.
Oh, okay. Nice.
In all of his titles. So we're going to hopefully release, we don't know if it'll come out before his book or after, but we're going to release a short story that it's about the first porn film that Tony and Rod met each other. The first film, and that's how they became friends. And the film is called If You Stick It, They Will Come. That's what he's going to be about with a little, so it's going to be another porn shoot.
A baseball theme.
Baseball theme.
Okay, that's perfect, because I know where you get that line from.
Yes.
It was like Field of Wet Dreams.
Oh, there we go. That is a good one.
Not if you use that. Well, you can have a lot of fun then with your titles are fantastic. Now the first one, the short story. Now you said that's a little bit well, it would fall more into the erotica category probably.
There's no
question.
It's naked in the middle of the erotica category.
The thing is we're going to have a series of short stories and a series of novels. The novels are going to be a little more tame. They involve more of a plot, and a subplot. They dive into the characters, the emotions behind their actions, whereas the short stories kind of focus on, essentially what we're trying to do is the short stories are going to revolve around how the characters got into porn. And so they're featuring a porn flick, so they're naturally going to be a bit more. Yes.
Right. Oh yeah, of course. Of course. I like the way you're going to have it mixed up.
Action.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Kristin, I spoke over you. Can you say
No,
that
you're
again?
fine. I said a little less story and a little more action is what the short story is.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think that's brilliant the way you're doing that there. You know, you can, definitely show like the side of the industry that they're in, and the stories sound like a lot of fun. And it's not, honestly, as I'm friends with both of you, but when I had heard the titles, I myself, I just generally don't read erotica. I'm mainly a mystery reader. So I was just like, that's probably not for me. But now that I've learned more about them, I have more an interest in reading them because they sound like good stories and they sound funny, which I love. I love humor.
They're funny. There's a lot of dick jokes. I'm not gonna lie.
Yes. Yeah. Lots of jokes. Lots of jokes. Definitely. Lots of spoofs. Yeah.
A lot of spoofs. Oh, that's fun.
Good
That's
times.
fun.
Yeah.
Excellent. Now, I wanted to ask you, because I tend to ask my guests this. Now, a lot of people, a lot of writers, they write so very differently from each other. Now, do you two tend to outline your stories, or is it more like you wing it, then go back and do a lot of editing, or have you found sort of that groove yet?
Well, there's always lots of editing, I think, anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're definitely plotters. We're pretty well outlined for things. I mean, we leave a lot of room for, we say, okay, this is what's supposed to happen. A, B, and C are supposed to happen. Fill in the blanks in between. So,
yes, we spend many hours on the phone when we come up with an idea. Many hours on the phone plotting. It's to the point where, our conversations usually lead to our stories, and to the point where, one of us is running off trying to get a notepad and jot everything down in a haphazard way, and then we go back later and be like, wait, hold on, what did we say? What was this? What was going to happen? But yeah, no, so we definitely outline everything first together, and then, like she said, like Kristin said, we leave lots of room for each of us to have our own creative flair on the chapters. So.
Okay, awesome. I'm going to be a bad host and excuse myself for a second just because my dog is scratching at my door and I just need to take care of this for 5 seconds. I swear to God.
No problem. No problem.
All right.
I'll have some refreshment while you do that.
hey, wait, while he's gone.
Ooh. The password is meow. Meow.
Okay, I'm back and I have to ask about that. The password is meow?
Oh. Nice.
What was that, meow?
What does that mean? He won? Ding, ding, ding.
Okay.
Us being weird, don't worry about it.
Yes,
it happens. I've never had any, and I like that. I got to incorporate a secret password into my shows every week. Hey, exactly. I did want to bring up. We got a couple of comments here. I have someone. I don't know if you know Mama's Got Flair, but Mama's Got Flair is watching the show.
Hello.
Yeah, so
hey.
My buddy Darren Waremouth, I don't know if either of you know Darren. Darren's a pretty successful writer and all-around cool guy. He's watching. He's checked in with us. So awesome. To the both of you and others who are watching live, thank you very, very much.
Hello.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
You know, that's cool what you told me about the outlining. I apologize. I did have to take care of that damn dog situation. But let's ask you, now, I'm curious about this, too. I just started writing a book with a friend of mine, a guy named Johnny Crackers. At least that's his pen name. And it's an adjustment.
Yeah.
It's a cool, he's a cool guy.
It is. It's pretty cool.
But it's the first time I've ever written with anybody, and you know, it's going a little. I had apprehensions about it because, again, you know, writing is a very personal thing, and for me, it was always very much solitary thing, and it's a little bit of an adjustment. But I want to ask you, how has that worked for? How do you do that together? I mean, because I know. Let me tell you how me and Johnny are working on it right now. Basically, I've been writing out the beats. You know, I pretty much gave him a chapter by chapter outline of what the first one's going to be, and he's going to do a first draft, and then I'm going to take it and kind of, you know, go over that. We'll probably go do a lot of back and forth. How do you two work? I'm really curious to hear how two other writers work, and especially in such an interesting genre.
Well, I think it works out really well. We make jokes all the time about how we feel like we don't want to say we share a brain because that would imply that we have less brains.
That we have less,
people.
yeah. We have double fun, double the brain. There we go.
There you go. Double the fun, double the brain.
A gigantic shared brain.
We do. It's like a big genius, you know. Yes.
So it's
creative genius.
It's worked out really well that we do think very, very similarly. So it works out well because we do have, you know, we both have kids and husbands and other gigs going on. So it works out really well that we can just kind of share what we're doing and share the work because we both really want to do this and we're both really excited about it. But it's been one of those things that it's a huge time commitment, and you just really have no idea. People are like, "Oh, you wrote a book? Yeah, great. That's awesome." They just have no clue how much work it is. So
yeah, it's a lot. Honestly, more work than I think a lot of people realize.
Yeah, and not only writing the book, but after you write the first draft, there's the second draft, the third draft, the fourth draft, editing, changing everything, and then you have to market the book, which is a whole nother beast in itself. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So I don't know if we're really the best at necessarily giving advice on how to co-write with somebody because I think we're a whole different breed, I think. I mean, I don't know. I've never had
our weirdness works together.
Well, that's great. I mean, you gotta really be able to click with somebody very well to do this. So, and thankfully, I'm finding that with Johnny right now. It's gone better than I thought. So, yeah, congratulations to you. Because I know some people can't do it. I tried to write with another one of my friends about a year ago, and we got along great. We were great friends, but I think our styles were we just were never on the same page. No bad pun intended there. We were just just couldn't get it together, and I don't think it's really like a very, very easy thing for a lot of people to do. So I commend both.
It's definitely difficult. Not only do you have to have similar styles and you can work together, but you have to have, like, let's say something comes up in the other person's life and they're not able to finish what they started, or things change, or there's always life instances, and then the other person's left to either carry the rest of the way, or wait for the person to catch up so that they can write again.
It's definitely a relationship of compromise. I mean, that's the big thing, and being able to concede and understand and work with somebody else, and it's the whole like taking one for the team thing. Definitely really applies.
Yeah, you kind of gotta, like, sometimes I would think check the ego. That it's a team effort. And sometimes your words might have to get cut to make it a better product in the end.
Yeah, and I think that the fact that we plot all of the key points out together really makes it feel like it's both of our baby. So when we start writing, it's not a sense of, oh, well, she did more than me, or that's her idea, that's my idea. Because it's our idea. And we know that if someone's writing chapter 1, and let's say that so-and-so can't get to chapter 2, let's say Kristin starts writing on chapter 2 as well, then she knows that later on, I can do chapters 4, 5, and 6. It's not a big deal. Yeah, it tends to work out.
We haven't been assigning, like, okay, you have to do 5,000 words today, and I do 5,000 words today. We've been just not limiting ourselves and saying, if you're feeling it, go for it, write it, get it down. We can always fix it later, in editing. And so it's just been, whoever's got it, go with it,
The other big thing that I think really helps is we tend to work on 2 projects at the same time.
Oh,
so
okay. That's
if I'm
cool.
writing on one book, she's writing on the other book, then we flop, we switch. So, so that we're not waiting on each other at all.
Okay, that's great. I think that's got to help things out. Cool. Yeah, awesome. And you talked about the series in general. Do you have in mind, like, how many books there will be, or is it just right now it's just going to be totally an ongoing thing, no set number?
We definitely know we are, like, really, really plotted through 7 books. But
wow.
We know there's going to be 8 books because we want each one of the guys to get 2 full novels told from their point of view, because it's first person and it switches to each guy different books. So we wanted each guy to get 2 books, and we're still a little hazy on book 8 and how that exactly is going to work out. Especially
we have a big master plan to wrap it all up, but we're still working out some of the details.
Right. Well, and it's one of those things that, like, I'm sure every probably author crosses is when it's going to be the final book in a series. There's a lot of pressure, and how do you wrap things up? And how do you,
right.
you don't want to disappoint people and stuff like that. So.
And just by the time that you're going to spend writing the other books in the series, that'll probably guide you to that. You don't have to have that all figured out now. That's
right.
But wow, that sounds like it's going to be a nice, long, fun journey, not just for you two, but for your readers, and that just sounds like so much fun.
Hopefully, we hope so. Yeah, we also have some other things in the pipeline as well that are not.
I was going to ask you that, Kat. We talked about this.
Yeah. I know. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I don't wish to give away too much, but perhaps in a slightly different genre, maybe.
It's an entirely different genre. I would say it's. I would say it's not. I wouldn't even categorize it in a romance. There is some romance in it. But it's not the main focus. The main focus, it has, I don't know if I would call it paranormal or sci-fi. Some little, elements to it.
Thriller is a big one. Suspense thriller.
Yeah, suspense thriller for sure.
Cool.
Yeah, a bit dark in a, how would you say it? I wouldn't say dark per se, because the theme in all, I would say, is a good theme, but told in a dark way.
Now, do you think you're gonna? That sounds cool. Tell me something totally different.
I'm trying not to give too much away. I know Kristin.
I don't want you to. But all right, let me just ask you this though. You think that's probably going to fall somewhere like work and release wise, like while you're still putting out the Has Been series, or you're going to wait until it's done? Oh, okay.
It's going to come out next year. I would say.
We're shooting for next summer.
Summer. Mm-hmm.
Shooting.
Yes. Shooting. Yeah. The bow and arrow is, it's back. It's back. We're getting ready to fling. But, yeah. We're working on, obviously, Rod. We want to get Rod out because we do have some readers very interested in following the Has Been series. So we want to make sure that Rod gets out on time. So he's coming out spring. We don't have an exact date yet, but we're, spring next year. And then following that should be this next book that I'm not going to say the title of.
No, don't say the title. That's exciting. You mentioned that had some readers that are already looking forward to the second book, and that's got to make you feel great. I saw some nice reviews for King Tang Tony too, and I would expect that's very rewarding because I know you two would. I've known you both for a while, and I know you've been working on different things, individually, and that you teamed up to do this. So I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's very exciting. It's very rewarding. It's a hard gig, but it's definitely something we enjoy doing. We're both pretty creative people, so this has become a great outlet for us to express that creativity and work together, and I'm enjoying it quite a bit. Yeah, definitely.
Fantastic. That's the most important thing out of all of this, or anything that anybody does in the arts or just in life. You got to enjoy yourself. So I'm very, very happy for you both.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you. It's your turn, buddy, because,
I know. I'm going to have my book will be out by the end of the year, definitely.
Awesome.
You mentioned I was a teenage Amish vampire. So
that's been in the pipeline for a while, too. I remember.
It really has.
It has.
That went all over the place because I had switched it. I went from first person to third person, and then it was going to be like a trilogy. Novellas. Now it's just going to be a short novel for the. So I've been all over the place with it, but I got it at a place I like, and I've had a lot going on with. Oh, I don't want to make. I'm not making excuses, but I got engaged this year, and
I know.
Things happen. Things happen.
And then things happen that you can actually name them, and then those things happen, and that definitely.
That's right. We might get a pet. You're right. Yeah.
Pet.
Pet, yes, a chia pet.
A chia pet. But I want to encourage first of all, viewers, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Yes. And I encourage you to check out the books. The first book in the Has Been series. Is it novel or novella? You said, is it or kind of like short novel?
It's a novel. I would say it's a full-length novel for sure. Yeah.
And that's Ting Tang Tony and the Little Erection That Could. Probably I think that should win some sort of award for best book title of the year. That's fantastic.
Yeah. That would be awesome. The exposure would be nice.
Yeah.
The title would really grab people because there's a lot of books out there, and so we're just really hoping that it could turn a lot of people away.
I think it's one of those books that people are going to look at it and they'll be like, I don't know, but then they're secretly going to pick it up and read it on the sly, It's going to be one of those. Yeah. They're not going to want to admit to it. But it's great, though.
Well, one thing that I think was really a smart move on both of your parts is that, it takes place, revolving around the porn industry. But with your cover, it's not like you slap some hunky guys on the front or like some big sexual scene. I mean, you're making it pretty obvious that it's not your typical like erotica book. That it's got some humor, it's got a storyline to it. So that I think that was brilliant because you could have gone that other route, and that probably would have been confusing for readers who were looking for that sort of thing.
That's a great compliment. Thank you. And that's exactly what we were going for.
We wanted something different. We wanted something that was sexual but not overtly sexual, and we liked the silhouettes because we didn't want to go cartoony because we don't want people to not take us seriously, but at the same time we don't want people to take us too seriously. Because it is supposed to be funny. It is satire. We want people to enjoy themselves when they're reading it. We want people to laugh out loud when they're reading it. Like, we want you to be the guy on the airplane reading their book and looking ridiculous because you're laughing out loud and everybody's looking at you like.
And I swear, there's not enough books like that. That's like my favorite kind of stuff to read. Is stuff that I'll really get a good laugh out of. Something that's not like totally, cartoonish. Because there's so much of that out there that are just ridiculous. You can get maybe 2 chapters into them, and then you toss them on the other side of the room, which really sucks if you have a Kindle, because I've killed one Kindle that way. But yes, I'm excited for you. Thank you for putting out a funny book, because there's just not enough of those out there.
Well, I have to say, it is very funny, but I was, some of the reviews that have been coming back have said, as an all-around book, it's everything. It's laugh out loud funny, and at the same time, the character, the readers are, crying from laughing, and yet getting teary-eyed from the emotion behind what's happening to the characters,
Well, that's fantastic.
Yeah. So that's, huge. So it's been great to hear that feedback.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, great. Well, I wish you two the best of luck with the series.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And as the future books comes out, hopefully you'll want to come back on the show. We can talk about them some more.
Definitely. Definitely. Yeah, for sure. That's been great.
We should come back. We should come back and play games.
Yes.
Play games.
I have to say, Kristin and I, we were coming up with lots of different jokes to play. I have to say,
Really?
We had a whole bunch of things we were going to do to you, but we decided to, we'll let you slide a little bit.
Okay, you're gonna let me slide. Well, thank you.
Yes.
You tell me off the air what you were going to do. Or hold it for the next time you're on the show.
Well, you told me it was PG-13, and we know Kristin has no filter whatsoever, so I was like, well, maybe not.
Well, you did great, Kristin. You did great.
No slips. That's good.
Well, thank you both again. Everybody, check out the stories by Kat DeSalle and Kristin Lee Jones. And thank you for tuning in to Buddy's Writing Show. If you're new to the show, as I said at the beginning, this is episode 39, so there's a bunch that I've done in the past. I do the shows every week. Please consider subscribing to the channel. And thank you so much for watching. Have a great week, everybody.
Thank
See you,
you.
friends. Thank you again.
Bye.
Bye.